Hey everyone, today I wanted to do a little unboxing. It's been a long time since I've done one because I kind of cut myself off of buying art supplies because I went a little nuts in 2020 and 2021. So I took a bit of a break, but I just went to the art store to replenish a few of my colored pencils, Luminance colored pencils, and instead just got some new ones that I didn't have. And I also got a few um, dry pastels. So I'm really excited to try these out, and I thought it would be fun to unpack them with you. So here we have what it is that I got. Some soft pastels, we'll do those second. Some colored pencils, and my sketchbook to do the tryouts. So I'm very excited about these colors. Whenever I go to the art store, I have a tendency to kind of buy palettes, and I talk about this in my most recent class, and I specifically wanted to get some colored pencils that I didn't already own, but within the I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 colors that I still don't own, I decided to go for these ones. I thought the color palette was really fun. And it's actually kind of funny because I didn't realize, but it's a very similar color palette to the cover of my Studio Moleskine notebook. It's not really a sketchbook, the paper's a bit thinner than the sketchbooks. But yeah, so that's kind of funny. It just goes to show how subconsciously you'll pick up different things from your environment when you see them a lot. So this sketchbook has really smooth paper. It's quite thin, maybe 90, maybe 100 grams. I'm not totally sure. It's actually pretty fun for colored pencils, but I wouldn't say it's the best for soft pastel. I actually put some soft pastel on the background of this one, but it just is almost all gone. So I'm going to use this really for the first part of this unboxing, and then grab another sketchbook for the soft pastel. But so you can see I went for a lot of these sort of gray colors. As you might know, Luminance is one of my favorite colored pencils. I really just love the color palettes and the way they lay on the page. That's a French gray. I also got a sepia. I was surprised. So this is actually a sepia 50%. But I was surprised to realize in my art supply inventory that I didn't own the sepia already. This is the 100% sepia. But I really like this idea of being able to build like tonal palettes. This is the same color French gray, except that this one is 10% French gray. Because it gives you a really nice range when you have a tonal palette. I also talk about that in my most recent Skillshare class, even though it's more geared towards gouache, but than colored pencil. And then these really fun ones. Let's try these. Ice blue. I thought this one was really, really beautiful. Look at that. And of course, if you've taken my other class that's geared more towards colored pencil about vintage color palettes, I'm actually kind of realizing that this is kind of a slightly vintagey type color palettes. But anyway, in that class, I talk a lot about layering, which is very, very fun, and I've really enjoyed playing around with that recently. This is a Payne's Gray 60%. I love the original 100% Payne's Gray, but realized I didn't have that one, so. And then finally, this nice pink. I would say in Luminance, the one thing I was surprised about is the lack of different versions of pink. I actually only have really one light pink. So I was happy to see that there's one that I didn't own. And then finally, light aubergine. Love this color. I've been using it a lot digitally on Procreate. These kind of purpley colors. Which is funny because I used to never use any purples. But that's what's fun when you do art for a long time, is you can see things shift and evolve as your interests do. Crimson, alizarin. Really lovely palette. Let me zoom that in for you. Really cool. I'm very excited to make some drawings with these colors. Alright, so to try out the dry pastels, I'm going to get this other sketchbook, which has slightly better suitable paper. And I'm just choosing the back of something that doesn't really matter in order to do those tests. Wow, I'm struggling to open this. There we go. So these are 30 half pastels, extra soft, which I really love. It's a texture that I really like. And I've actually only ever bought Sennelier kind of as single. Actually, I only have the oil Sennelier. I've never tried these dry pastels, so that's going to be really fun to experiment with. Oh, here's a little pastel card. That's nice of them. So I guess you can try their paper. I was actually curious about it today, so that's cool. Ooh. Wow. Those are very, very bright and pigmented. I don't know if you can tell, but really beautiful. All right, let's make some space here. There we go. And one of the things that I was attracted to in this palette is the different blues, because I don't have many blues. So the other color soft pastels that I have are Unison, and they're very soft and creamy. At least this first one is not as creamy as that, but this second one is definitely closer. And obviously with soft pastels, you always get very dirty hands, but that's half the fun. Ooh, this is a beautiful blue. I wonder if it's like some sort of cobalt or something. And there's some very bright hues here, this purple and that pink. So for color mixing, I need to watch out because since my hands are getting dirty, it's already mixing with the pigments. I rarely make entire drawings out of pastel. I've done a few, but not a huge amount. I usually like to use them more as like backgrounds or as just slight textures within mixed media pieces. Ooh, this is a beautiful color. I love that coral. Oh, wow, that one I love. That's like it's like a purple gray. Oof, yum. And what drew me to this specific, well, there were two reasons. One of them is it was on sale. So that made me happy. Um, and I liked the range of the colors, which seems pretty different from the colors that I have. And I also like that they were all kind of contained. So I have two unison color pastel sets, and one of them is more like animals, and one of them is more like botanicals. And they're absolutely stunning. They're some of my favorite art materials that I own. But in order to have a big range of colors, I would have to bring both of those palettes with me. Whereas this, what I liked about it is it's kind of contained. So like, let's say I'm traveling, I could take this single set and still have a fair amount of colors to choose from. Oops. I also find it interesting how the creaminess just depends on the pigment. And I guess that makes sense because all pigments have different properties. Ooh, that's a nice kind of butternut color. Usually what I do when I'm using soft pastel is I'll then cut out a sheet of paper to protect the other side. Ooh, I'm running a little low on space, so I might... Oh, that's a fun cold lemon yellow. I'm curious if you've tried soft pastels before, or if you have like a specific brand that you like, or how you like to use them. Oh, I love that one. Oh, that's like a minty green, a minty pastel-y green. Yum. This is like kind of like a Castle Earth or something. I like that it's a nice range of bright colors and muted colors. That's super fun. And see, all these would be, excuse me, all these would be great for, I think, for landscapes. All these different types of browns and greens. So that's kind of neat. This is a color that is very similar to one of my favorites in my Unison pastel box, so that's cool that that's part of it. Black, of course, classic, and white, which I'm gonna definitely mess up with my dirty fingers, but it does feel nice and creamy. Yeah, so I just made it orange with my dirty fingers. Let me shake this off and then we can just look at them as a whole. So here they are. I shook them off, but I didn't actually shake them off very well. But maybe that's kind of nice because then I can play around with doing some fun mixing. I love how wispy soft pastels are. Yes, they are quite messy, but they just have something so special about them. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the colors that I got today, and I also think that it would be fun, really fun to mix these colored pencils with these soft pastels that I got. I think I could make something really fun. I would say some real favorites are this mint green. I actually really like this bright red over here, as well as the coral and this sort of lime green. Oh, Beautiful set. Oh, and of course that purple that now, the purple gray, that's now kind of covered up. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little unboxing, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.